Good afternoon. My name is Xolani Yaaba. I'm a Warrior Scholar, educational consultant, political scientist, historian, and anthropologist, educator. So I have a lecture called Education Mentacide of Afrikan Children from Systemic Miseducation, Eugenics, and Racism in the Academic Ocean Block. So the Academic Ocean Block comes from my research, focusing on African-centered education, derailing the school-to-prison pipeline. So, in the research that I use different books. So, Hakeem Mahboudi's African-centered education, Preparing for Power, Purcell Coulson, so America's Elite Boarding Schools, and talks about with the boarding schools. They use these boarding schools on the East Coast to train the next generation of European youth for power. So they teach them things such as gun club, they give them like African rites of passage, a wide variety of technical skills, political science, military science, archery, fencing, a wide variety of things that prepares them not only to keep it in power for the next generation, but to destroy the African youth that they seen as a threat to their survival. Genetic survival. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson talks about this in the ISIS papers, that the phallus, or the male penis, is a threat to systematic oppression. So, if Europe could be turned brown in 50 years, all off of if a black man and a white woman, or a white man and a black woman, and to have a relationship, and I'm going to touch on interracial relationships also, but the academic ocean block is pretty much the school-to-prison pipeline. So I have an outline on how it's set up. So the school system and prison system is one system. So the principal will be the warden. The teachers will be the corrections officer. The classroom will be the cell block. Police and security is pretty much SWAT. The cafeteria is the mess hall. And pretty much the food that's served in prisons are pretty much the same food that's served in public schools. In-school suspension is solitary confinement. The playground, if they do get recess, is the yard, and the dean of student is pretty much a judge. Because the dean of student decides whether or not the child gets suspended or the person that's the disciplinary in the school. So what happens is, I work for a program, City in Washington, D.C. It was founded on the premise of focusing on the high school dropout crisis. And what happened was the principal at the school was a former juvenile detention warden. So the school was ran like a prison. It was middle school. 8th graders on the 3rd floor, 7th graders on the 2nd floor, and on the 1st floor it was 6th graders. So what happened is they had white walls. If they couldn't get themselves in order or in line and they got in trouble on their way to lunch, they would have to go all the way back upstairs and start over again. So it seems like, and a lot of them didn't even want to eat the food because the food was so terrible. So GMO eugenics. So eugenics is scientific racism, and I'll create my own definition. So eugenics occurs in European-centered educational institutions, curriculum, and socialize children culturally through testing standards of the culture that has colonized the groups of people economically, politically, and socially. So what eugenics does is it uses scientific racism, whether it's through food GMO, whether it's through what's happening in Flint with the lead in the water, whether it's chemtrails, whether it's a wide variety of different things, whether it's pesticides on the food that you eat, or you eat in fast food restaurant. You don't have a grocery store in your neighborhood. The only thing you got is a gas station or a 7-Eleven in your local community. So a lot of this occurs because of the menticide. So the menticide is a term coined by Dr. Bobby Wright of the University of Chicago. He writes a book called The Psychopathic Racial Personality of the Essays. in his book, he discusses that Europeans are all psychopathic in some kind of way. They may not show it right away, but eventually it will come out. They have tendencies. You need to pay attention. That's just like in a friendship or relationship. Sometimes we don't pay attention to the signs that there's something mentally off with the person. So if you're looking at with self-hatred, so I deem self-hatred as a mental illness. So with this mental illness, it's undiagnosed. So with self-hatred, you got the Mentacide. Dr. Bobby Wright he has this thing called black suicide. So he said black on black violence is black suicide. But he said it's really white on black violence. Because psychologically, through self-hatred, through the Mentacide, through what I call colonial miseducation, psychologically, we have been trained to think that we're European. So, through self-hatred, culturally, economically, politically, historically, politically, psychologically, spiritually, and a lot of people like to talk about this. Psychologically, spiritually, and sexually. You got Negroes, black people that want to be European. You have been socialized to be Europeans through the system of education. And European insanity, and confusion causes insanity amongst Negroes. It's been normalized. European insanity is normalized behavior. So if you aren't doing something that the European wants you to do, then it's not seen as normal. So if you resist, you're like, nah, I don't want to follow the rules. For most children, they're going to be placed in that pipeline of special ed. So if you don't submit willingly, for one, they're going to subjugate you, if not psychologically, physically, if you resist authority. There's been instances of police officers in school or security guards in school somewhere down south, I'm not sure exactly where. But the young man that was pinned down with the help of the principal, who was a European woman, and the school security guard or police officer, they ended up knocking out his front teeth because he resisted.
It was like saying like an empathy.
Yeah. And what did Malcolm X say? Only a fool will let the enemy teach his children. Why would I allow somebody to socialize and teach my own when I could teach my own? Why would I allow, and one of the things that's ironic is why I asked some rhetorical questions over one instance of European women, police officer killing somebody black in the street. And I always ask this question, why are there no European women police officers killing African people in the streets? And because the European woman's job is to miseducate and socialize the children for prison, for miseducation, for mass incarceration. So the whole thing with mass incarceration, they're training the children to submit. So when they do drop out of school, the white woman is basically feeding black children and African children directly to her husband. And he gets paid. He makes money. So, Brown versus Board of Education. This decision, I talk about the decision. Those who follow my work, I touch on educational policy. We need to understand political science. So, I've been saying this for quite some time. This came out in 2004, October 2004. New York University professor, Derek Bell, so he's a legal scholar, he focuses on critical race theory. He said, I'll paraphrase, he said there are generations of black children might have been better off if the case had failed. So I've been saying this for quite some time. If we never would have integrated our children to public schools, we integrated them, but the main issue with that is this created a problem that's still relevant to the community to today, black unemployment. So if you have an African-centered school, you don't have to worry about not being able to find a job, because you could teach the way you want to teach. Not only that, it could lead to other schools being created once you learn the model of how to run an actual school. So we need African-centered daycares, we need African-centered preschool, we need African-centered after-school programs, we need African-centered education, homeschooling models. We need all the models we can have, because in actuality, if you look at the way that colleges are set up, HBCUs specifically, the University of Chicago was founded by the Rockefeller family. Not only that, the Rockefeller family, the Vanderbilts, who else? Power Elite families. You said who? Yeah, Rothschilds.
Those people are jealous of us.
Carnegie. Cecil Rhodes. And then as of late, you count for this generation, I added George Soros in there. So, they funded HBCUs. Spelman University is named after somebody that's kin to the Rockefeller family. So they fund not only that, they fund black schools in general. So not only that, HBCUs, there aren't any African studies program at the doctorate level. If you want to go to Africana studies or African studies or African American studies at the PhD level, you got to go to Ivy League school, Cornell, Harvard, Princeton, Yale. And those are just to name a few. So Brown versus the Board of Education leads to, this is what they said. In order to, I say this all the time, when it comes to nation building, in order to destroy a nation, you must destroy the children of that prospective or potential nation. So not only that, the nation is being destroyed by the adult, but they're training their children to use guns at an early age. Not only that, they're like, we're going to teach you to pick up this Bible, and we're going to teach you to use the gun. What we do, we usually hand our children to some kind of religion. It doesn't necessarily, or spiritual system, it doesn't necessarily have to be Christianity. It could be Islam. It could be a wide variety. But we must start training our children. And for me, religion causes a lot of beef and discrepancies amongst African people. So we can't agree to disagree if we have a different school of thoughts in general. So if I can't agree that I'm a Christian, or this brother over here, he's a Moor, or this brother over here, he's a Hebrew Israelite, this brother's an atheist, or this brother believes in socialism, or whatever your school of thought is, or philosophy, we come to agree. Malcolm X said we gotta leave it at the front door, because when they lynch you, they're not gonna ask you, when they put the noose around your neck or the police gonna kill you, hey, wait up, nigga, what religion do you? No, they're not going to ask you. They look at you in their eyes, little nigga. You an animal, you a savage. You need to be subjugated.
You can't pay for the water, we all gonna die, that type of stuff. And these are some of the important issues right there. Leave religion at home. We all gotta pay for the water. I ain't feel about that. You gotta get on the real page. You can stand in the rain, let the water hit for free, and then go to the store and buy it from the Europeans. We got to get smarter than that. So, I mean,
happens is you got this thing, so with HBCUs, the college is the last level of the menticide and miseducation process. Because you're training young black people, African youth, to get this degree and then go work for somebody, not to build your own. So I have a model I came up with when I started my own institution, the after school program with the African Community School. In 3rd grade, they're going to be learning to write an entrepreneurial business plan or something they're interested in, whatever it is. Then when they reach 5th grade, they start picking up a trade in 5th grade. By the time they get to high school, my mentor, Marcus Klein, and teacher does an expo for his school. At the end of the year, I want to have them do an expo of their different business ventures. So if they do agriculture, boom, agriculture. If they paint, they can have some of their artwork. If they do graphic design or photography, they could be taking pictures for the event. Or if the person they need a logo, if one of my students is trained in graphic designer, all the students could go to that person for the logos. And then it's like it'll be a repeating cycle. Keeping the dollar. Like a circle, but my comrade Keith Butter broke it down like with electricity, with the circuit, with the outlet. It's going to keep resurging itself within that small circle. As opposed to going out. If you're going out, you pulling the plug out the wall. And I always say this with the analogy of one of my favorite shows and movies growing up was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I look at Shredder as white oppression and white aggression. The foot soldiers were dressed in all black. They were a gang. That was my first time being exposed to a gang. But they protect and shred. So what the Negroes are, they have identity crisis. They think they're European. They'll defend this European down to their socks. If the European say, I need you to take all your clothes off and give me your clothes. I don't have no clothes. They willingly will probably take the shirt off their back and give it to them. Like what Malcolm X said, boss, we sick. If the house is on fire, and I'm gonna feel figuratively, I'm like, man, let that burn. Put some wind on it. Yeah, the Stockholm Syndrome, you know. But we had a system of colonialism in public and charter schools. And before I get to that, in slavery, there were these things called sex farms. So, with slavery, they had breeding farms. So what HBCUs are pretty much modern day breeding farms for creating a new collective of Negroes. So you building of Negroes, say you have people that come together, they get together, they get married, they both went to HBCU. They don't have a conscience of collective awareness of being African. They've been Americanized. So they go work for another company. Or they want to be an athlete, but they just want to be an athlete. They don't think about owning. So we have to own. We have to go into industries. But this is what colonialism in the public schooling system is with the academic ultra block. They have Dr. Juwanka Kajufu has this thing called the 4th grade failure syndrome. Based off test scores, they build prisons off failing test scores. If you're illiterate, I said literacy equals incarceration. So if you can't read, you're more likely going to become incarcerated. They have a cell block waiting for you. And it's no different the way the schools are set up. I already socialized to be within a cell block confine in the classroom When you drop out, most students know they want to drop out of school in 6th grade. By the time they get to high school, the social worker, the caseworker, if they're not doing well in high school, they suggest to them in the 10th grade year when they turn 6, say, oh, you know what, you could legally drop out of school. Matter of fact, why don't you just go get your GED? And one of my friends told me he was dropping out of school. He was like, man, bro, he told me I could drop out of school, man. Mom's in at the crib, I gotta feed my brothers and sisters, man. I'm finna get to this money on the streets. I know it ain't the right thing to do, but I gotta feed, I gotta eat. I gotta fend for myself. Ain't nobody stopping what's going on in my neighborhood. My friend's 9, I might as well give me a strap. But if we got young men and women, sisters like that in the street, we need to give them some kind of political education. While all the violence that's happening, if they give them the guns with the freights, and let them hit the freights, right? So if we give them political education, Dr. E.P. Newton said in his book, Autobiography of Revolutionary Suicide, he got a chapter called Brothers on the Block. He said the brothers on the block legally understand the system. They've been locked up, they can represent themselves, they can keep themselves up. You give them a political education on top of the political science, you give them military science. Teach them how to use that gun properly. Teach them who the real ops is. So ops in the street is opposition. That's what it is. On the street, your ops is opposition. This is the more so Negro mind state. Then you got the African. I came up with this. I listen to a lot of hip hop, trap music. You know, keep up with what the youth is listening to. So the ops, it's the same thing. 2 P's. 2 P's. Ops is the oppressor. With mathematics, I do a lot of math. I was a math genius when I was in high school. When I was in the 9th grade, I was doing math at the 12th grade level. And then when I was in 12th grade, I was doing math at the graduate level, like a master's or a PhD level. I just stopped and lost it, so I'm trying to get back into it. But I said Mentacide is mental plus genocide or suicide. It could be both. So I'm gonna go back into the charter schools. So in charter schools, public school, there's no budget in the state of Illinois. Bruce Rhymer is a venture capitalist. He's a banker. Him and Rhymer Manuel, they're buddies, they're boys, they golf together, they go on vacation together, they have drinks together, they build and enjoy each other. They come up with a scheme in politics. And they be like, yo, Ron, what you think about this? I think that's a good idea financially. That's going to benefit us. They understand money. A lot of people don't know that Ron Emanuel controls the Chicago Police Department, Chicago Housing Authority, and he controls Chicago Public School from his pen in City Hall. In downtown Chicago, he controls the policies that get set in place. So, Bruce Rhymer actually owns 3 charter schools. Noble Charter School Network that's trying to get into the Chicago's teaching union. In 2016, Bruce Rhymer pulled $2 million for charter schools. Then he pulled some more money, I can't remember how much it was, he pulled some more millions for charter schools. And now there are 20 charter schools that Noble Charter Network is going to open up in the fall. So more public schools go over. Not only that, in Inglewood, I think, if if I'm not mistaken, Inglewood or Woodline. They have a $75 million school that's getting ready to open. Not only that, the University of Chicago is getting ready to open up a new school in Woodline, right on 63rd. So these charter schools are coming. And if you get suspended or expelled from the charter school, you will never go to another charter school. Not only that, alternative schools aren't really open anymore. You know, they have a few that's available. But in order to counter what's going on in public schools and charter schools with the lack of black men in there, there one should be programs such as you got Teach for America, City is a teacher program, but Urban Teacher Center. And all these programs, they train teachers the way that they want you to be trained under their umbrella. Then, not only that, if you are a black male or black, the test is biased when you're trying to do the teacher certification test. So when you got to do teacher certification in every subject area. So if you get one subject wrong, you might do well in the subject you're supposed to do, but say for instance you're not good at math, or you're not good at science. This eliminates you from the process of even working in public schools if you don't have a certification. Not only that, you have to take a teacher certification test now to be a substitute teacher. So you can't just pay for your application and it's that easy. No, they're trying to eliminate us from even being in public or charter schools. So if you don't have a certification or you don't have a coursework, you can't get into, taking or participating in such programs like those. Let's talk about the importance of Africana studies. So the Africana studies movement, still important. They're trying to say it's not relevant due to, and I would say this is more so towards the new generation. I say the new wave of intellectualism that's happening in the world. A lot of people don't go to college no more. They watch Hidden Colors. They watch some YouTubes. They watch some lectures. Or they watch some silent TV. Or these other different forms of like conscious news networks. And they think they this so certified scholar. And they call themselves master teachers when Conrad George Jackson calls it the petty pseudo bourgeois. I think I spelled it. The petty pseudo bourgeois. So these cats, they rock the dashiki. They throw the shea butter in their hair. They might have locks in their hair. They talking like the brother from In Living Color, Daniel Wayne's character, the one that was in the cell, is making up words and making up information. We are in the age of misinformation. Misinformation. Misinformation is miseducation. Misinformation is miseducation. It's still a shame. Then you got the crisis of Negroes. It's a lot of Negroes out deal with them in academia and different activist-based organizations. So what these Negroes at the intellectual level or academia is, they want you to keep quiet about the real research, the Warrior Scholarship like a Dr. John Henry Clark. They want you to align with somebody like Dr. Malana Karenga, the founder of Quantum. People don't know about Malana Karenga, how he helped set up to have our apprentice, Bunchy Carter, assassinated, along, I can't remember the other Panther that was assassinated at a university in California, a university in, it might be UCLA, I can't remember which university it is, but he had also, not only that, he mutilated some of our sisters, our beautiful African sisters, mutilated them. Not only that, he worked with the CIA, man. And his organization, the U.S., was called United Slaves. He's a scholar. Him and what's his name, Malefica Asante, had this thing going on with Dr. John Henry Clark. And he's one of the most respected elder warrior scholars that I respect, that had greatest influence on me, because he would speak up on issues that he seen was a problem. So what we now call pseudo, or what they call armchair revolutionaries, I call them armchair reactionaries. And what Huey News said, most of these so-called pro-black people will die from a reactionary suicide. They will self-destruct themselves because they sit, the armchair revolutionary would be somebody you see on social media typing on the keyboard. They be like, oh, kill Whitey. And then you go to the local fast food chain and they be like, may I take your order? Banging online keyboard gangsters or intellectual gangsters, banging online, going hard online, but then when you get them in the streets, when it comes to stepping toe-to-toe with somebody such as the police, they back down and get shook. They tell on everybody, if that person get locked up, everybody going to jail. Everybody's getting politically imprisoned. And then, figuratively, I've had dreams before. Figuratively, I got locked up, and I'm thinking in my dream, why I'm a political prisoner, then my man's colleague come to visit me. Yeah, you know, so-and-so on the street. Didn't they get locked up with you? Nah, I'm just saying, in general. Like, when somebody get locked up, like a political prisoner is pretty much what somebody that's a street soldier, a street gorilla get locked up. Like in The Wire, where Avon Barksdale get locked up. So it's politicizing people. So during the war on drugs, the street organization in Chicago, the gang leaders were politicized. They locked them up. Found a reason to lock them up. And that's what happened with a lot of activists. You got Dr. Mutulu Shakur, that's a political prisoner. Mumia Abu Jamal, political prisoner. I don't know how to say his Muslim name, H. Rap Brown, a political prisoner. What he said he had his rights in, I think in Virginia, or somewhere on the East Coast, America. H. Rap Brown, they locked him up because they said he decided to right. He get out. They was like, what you gonna do, Rap? He's like, man, I'm gonna stand right here. I'm gonna build my house. I'm gonna build a house right here. All I need is, I want to get my 40 acres in the mule, give me some laws. I'm building a house right here. And they asked him what happened, and he's like, man, when I got out, it was these two peckerwoods that didn't know the law themselves. I knew the law better than them. He gets out, then they extradite him to another prison. So he would spend a lot of people such as Huey P. Newton. When Huey P. Newton, the Black Panther Party was active, most of the time he spent in jail. So there was an officer, his name was John Frey. Basically, Huey gets out of jail for an incident that he gets out. He gets out and pull him over, and they basically say, oh, you the great Huey P. Newton. So they know who he is, they harass him. They try to kill him, basically. The police try to pull a gun on him. Huey always carried his law book. So he smashed the gun out of John Frey's hand, the police officer. I think that's his name. Then the partner of the police officer shoots his partner, and then Huey picks up the gun and was going to defend himself. He gets shot up. They handcuff him. There's photos of this. He's handcuffed to the bed. As soon as they get to the hospital, they beat him severely, the police. Because in their eyes, he killed one of their brothers in the line of duty. That happens all the time when people get pulled over. A lot of people don't understand we're at war. We need to start teaching our children legal education. Not only that, we need to start teaching our children how to swim as a survival strategy. It's a lot of people that panic when they get in the water. I was trained at 5 years old to learn how to swim. I'm forever thankful to my mother for putting me in swimming lessons. But swimming, treading water is the main thing. So if you go down and come up treading water, is the main thing, then being able to hold your breath. But most people panic, and they open their mouths and fill up with water, and that's how you panic. Or if you fall in the water, it'll be a current that'll grab you. And some people have died that knew how to swim, trying to save somebody that didn't know how to swim. So they would go under, trying to save them, but then the current would end up pulling that person under, but then it'll eventually save that person. So we must start teaching our children swimming as a survival strategy. So if something does go down, and we need to go to real warfare, we can come from them at all different angles, from under the water, out of trees, building our own weapons, archery, fencing, knifing. You know, in Japan, they teach their women in the military how to use knives. And I always tell somebody, what happens if your gun jams? What you gonna do? If that weapon jams on you, what is your response gonna be? Oh, only thing I got is a gun. I don't know how to use my hands. I don't know how to use a knife. I don't know how to use a sword. In fact, I don't even know how to use my own weapons. Or I don't even know how to make my own weapons. We gotta start teaching our people. Talking online, cool. That's good and dandy. We could do that. If that's your thing, do it. But don't be trolling people on their page. And just heckling people for no reason. Then when a person responds, you play victim. And then go report somebody's page. Not only that, we need to start infusing African culture into the curriculum, whether the curriculum is in the classroom, whether it's in the community or in the household. We have to infuse that culture. So if you don't have your child in public school, there's some things you can do at home to educate and empower your seed. You could get books that have some sense of African history. Or if you know or have a sense of, you know this information, why don't you pass this information on to your seeds? So when there's an instance of any community violence on the news, don't say, oh, they just a thug, they just a gangster. Explain to them it's systematic issues that's causing this issue of violence. There's an issue of a mental illness that I call self-hatred. Or Dr. Jordan Brew calls it the post-traumatic slave syndrome. Well, I don't like the idea of it being post, because we're not post-slavery. So more of a persistent slave syndrome, post-traumatic slave syndrome, persistent traumatic slave syndrome, or, of that nature. But we have to start implementing homeschooling models within our community. Whether it's in a classroom, whether it's in the streets, whether it's and if you go into the streets, you start off with political education first before you even get into any forms of African culture. You can put them up on game like when they're pouring out liquor for their homies. That's an African ritual. That's a libation. You pouring onto earth and honoring the ancestors, the people that you lost. That is a libation. You pouring liquor out for your dead homies. Then you got different things such as spirituality things. I'm not into that. I have people that I know that burn sage and familiar with the crystals, and we need to get in tune with all that stuff and teaching some form of spirituality. Teaching them. Me personally, I don't identify with a specific religion, but every day I talk to the ancestors. When I need some guidance, I talk to the ancestors, and I have a council of elders. Some of my OGs I talk to, and they give me guidance and push me onto the right path. So let's talk about hip-hop. This is very, very important. We have several, influential hip-hop artists. Hip-hop as African-centered curriculum. You could tie it into the curriculum. I'll talk about it. And I even talk to my students about the music they listen to, especially my high school students. I ask them why they listen to Migos, or Gucci Mane, or Boosie, or whoever that particular artist, or even, the so-called, what they call a mumble rapper. I listen to some of that stuff just to keep up with what they listen to. Like, why are you listening to 21 Savage? Or why are you listening to Uzi Vert? Or Black Youngster? Future. And I talk to them, all right, this is the music. Y'all know is it wrong for what they do in the music? They be like, yes. Why is it wrong? What's the cause of this? And teaching them, giving them that political education through talking about hip hop. Like why are they talking about killing? Or what some other artists we listen to? They was like, they name all the trap artists. And then they start naming other artists. Like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole's, the David Banner, Big Crit. And then introducing them now to hip hop artists with a socially political aware music. So like Bob Marley. Or, some of the old school R&B cats. Immortal Technique. These different form of artists. Tech Nine. It's another brother, Hobson. So introducing them, opening their worlds to different artists.
Now, we got the business of hip-hop in schools, but not in our schools.
Yeah.
We want to bring it. You go to school and learn the business and productivity of hip-hop, but where's that in our communities?
Right. But it's important to infuse it into your curriculum because it's going to be an easy way to navigate and connect with it. So when I go to the street, I know who all these trap artists are. I can connect to a young brother on the block and talk to him about it. Like, why you listen to that? Oh, that's my joint. What you like about it? They start asking the question, or then once you get to know them and what their interests are, you easily can connect with them. There's been times where I got young brothers that they are high-head, they carry a gun on them. There's been times where they got so much respect for me, somebody be talking crazy about me, they'd call me, they was like, big bro, man, this dude talking crazy about you, man. Can I pistol whip him? I'm like, nah, man, I'm gonna handle it. But I appreciate you looking out for my best interest. But also, it's easy for me to talk to them now. Like, I'll run into them, they be hot, and they be ready to go do a drill or go kill somebody. It's like, bro, don't even do it, man. It ain't worth it. You just got out. You wanna go back? You said you're trying to get on your feet. You're trying to provide for your kids. Man, you being back in the joint ain't a good look. And then you got your younger shorties that's out here wilding. This is the example I use for the reason why children and wild out, when the youth wild out. There's really no unapologetically heterosexual African men in the community due to the war on drugs, war on poverty, welfare, food stamps, what have you. Say for instance, we looking at the young. So say for instance, the zookeeper or the zoologist or anthropologist, they go to Africa, they're like, how can we mess up this environment? Everywhere Europeans go, they destroy the environment and the earth, wherever they go. It's like, I got an idea. Let's grab all the lions, leave the lioness, and leave the cubs. Grab all the lions, we can lock them up in cages, let's leave them in there for like 10, 20 years. Then we're gonna release them. So fly by, 10, 20 years fly by. All the baby cubs, the lion and cub, they fight each other, biting on each other. The women, the lion try to go back to the lady, the lioness, and she resists and pull away from her. Another example would be,
Mr. The hyenas now,
yeah, they be rocking, messing around with the hyenas. Or you would have a blend of a lion and a leopard. You have a blend of different animals. Or a lion. Or you would have a blend, like it's a rare, but they have black lions. I don't know where it comes from, but potentially that could be mixed. You ain't no telling what you're going to get. Then if you look at the Constitution, 3/5 of a human being, that's what we deemed as. But then they view us as animals, they say we're the savages. Well, we found them in caves, but they couldn't even bathe, but didn't even know how to wipe themselves properly. They were probably having savage-like behavior and behaving like monkeys, because one time I went to the zoo and they had the monkeys with the glass. But sometimes the monkey would boo-boo and throw a boo-boo. Actually. Or, I didn't understand the zoo at the time, but when I started looking at the zoo, they ain't no different from, I ask my students all the time, what is the zoo? And they throw all type of things out there. They was like, what animals are? I was like, be more specific, more specific. What is it? What are the animals doing? Why are the animals there? They would take, one of my students was like, they was taken from their natural habitat. I know they have, and this student always asks a question, and I'll be like, stop. I know you're gonna give me your answer. I want somebody else to give me the answer. And somebody was like, then cage. And I was like, what is that? Somebody was like, prison. Okay, same thing. The same way that they locked up animals at the zoo is no different than what they did to black people, 13th Amendment, with the black codes. And now we under a new era of politics. The Trump regime is here. People so worried about Trump. Trump don't know no policy. If you look at policy, the policy person is the vice president. Mike Pence is a known, psychologically, he's insane. Like, him, it wouldn't surprise me if Hillary Clinton or Hillary Clinton is advising the Trump administration. She got a new political action committee where she put funds into future politicians. So not only that, Hillary's going to the college campuses to recruit a new generation, new wave of politicians. Not only that, I went to Western Illinois University. It's one of the top criminal justice schools, law enforcement justice administration schools in the nation. Most of the students there that are white come there just to become police officers in this program. We become police officers based off this program. Not only that, students that want to become police officers, they become informants for the city police and the university police. If you want to become a police officer, you can have this on your resume.
You must become a criminal first. Practice justice.
Yeah.
Criminal justice. That's what I tell you. Criminals control justice.
So I had one dude, he tells me, white boy, he was like, man, Brandon, you different than most black people. Like, explain. I want to know what you mean by that. You don't sag your pants. You don't have locks or braids in your hair. Okay. I was like, whatever. You're not your normal savage thug on the street. For me, I'm not saying that because I'm an observer and I want to learn. So I was like, so what is your goal or intention as a law enforcement justice administration major? What you gonna do with your degree? He's like, well, my uncle has been a Chicago police officer in the drug and narcotics unit for 15 to 20 years. He's a high-ranking official. My goal is to become on the tactical unit. I want to, for one, be an Orange Street detective, then so eventually I can become SWAT. And I want to lock up anybody that's selling drugs, killing people, or wreaking havoc in the community. This is what he told me, out of his mouth. Blatantly, and then not only they train, most of the time they either training the men to be police officers or judges. And they're training the European women to be educators or training them to be attorneys. So it's a trickling down effect. So if the parent has been a judge for a long time, more likely one of their children is going to be a judge. Not only that, maybe one of their children is going to go off and be a doctor. So when Europeans have children, they set it up, or maybe they have 5 or 6 children. One's going to be a doctor, one's going to be a lawyer, one's going to be an engineer, one's going to be a judge, one's going to be a teacher, and the list goes on. One's going to go into every field of systematic oppression to destroy and annihilate black people or African people. They set it up like that. They set it up in that way. Or they set it up where one of their children might become a coach. But politician, of course, a judge, a lawyer, a police officer, and an educator. Those are the 5 main ways that they destroy this. And I can write it down. I forgot one. Bankers. So, doctor, lawyer, you gotta have judge in there. Banker. I'm just gonna name the European group. We got the banker, social worker. I gotta hear this and teacher. Police officer. journalists. I'm just thinking of different careers. And the list goes on. About politicians. It's funny, Dr. Neely Fuller, I don't know off the top of my head, but he has 9 areas of human like activity. These are 9 areas. I should put it educate, teachers/educators. You got administrators. But these are ways that they destroy us biologically, legally, economically, socially, culturally, politically, culturally, historically, journalists, politicians, political science. And if you want to add one more, military. So we have to start training our youth to get hands-on with technical skills. One thing we don't do other than swimming, we don't know how to grow our own food or get our own water supply. That's more important than even having a gun. Like, anybody can have a gun, but if you ain't got no means to use it, or no energy to use it, or you can have a gun, and you don't even know how to use it. What's a gun? I don't know how to use it. You're looking at it. You don't have an education on how to use it properly. And I feel like that's what happened with a lot of youth in our communities. They get a gun, they don't know how to use it, they get in an emotional situation, they be showing it off to their homies. You're like, yo, see I got this gun. Never use a gun in their life. And then what happens is most of the time they accidentally end up killing somebody they're not meaning to kill, or a lot of innocent bystanders get killed. Particularly children. Because 2 cats got beef with somebody, and they end up hitting somebody, not trying to, trying to get to somebody they know. Not only that, they was cool with this person. Now he's got a song called Accident Murders. He said, lying son, you was saying lying, you killed on purpose. You didn't mean to hurt him.
A lot of that too.
But the academic ocean block for me is for real the starting point. In order to stop the school-to-prison pipeline, that's going to stop a lot of. We can have our own industries. We're the ones who created these industries anyway, to begin with. We need our black farmers. That's revolutionary. Growing your own food, having your own food supply. Because say for instance you happen, I told somebody something happened today, and they cut off all the electricity. I don't know people who remember, they had this thing, Y2K. All the electricity was gonna go off. People was going crazy. They bought all the water off the shelves. They was going nuts, they was going bonkers because they thought the electricity. So at Y2K, people was like, I knew somebody, one of my friends' uncle, he said, man, I'm buying all my ammo, all my water, candles. I gotta have my water even if I don't have food. I'll be able to live and bathe and keep myself clean.
At least 4 years.
That's reaction. Exactly.
But there's a lot of cats out there, they ban all these. I understand you gotta have your weapons. That's cool. But for me, more than just a gun as a weapon, what happens if the gun jams? I'm gonna keep hitting on this. And that's what happened a lot. Like, a revolutionary's greatest weapon is his mind. Being able to think. So a lot of our minds are jammed. Just like if a gun jam, our minds are jammed with this mental illness, self-hatred. We've been held back. It's a scene in the film Baby Boy. So Tyrese's character, he's going to defend his household. I don't want to give the movie away. But basically, he's going after his the mother of his children, ex. They have him in a situation where they can kill him. When he's getting ready to pull the trigger, Tyrese's character, he visualizes himself on him. And his homie, they both street cats. He looked at him like, man, his friend ends up killing him. He's like, we got to get rid of him. Because he's going to keep being a problem. But it's that image. If we see more of what Tyrese's character saying, we can stop a lot of this nonsense or just communicate. I talk to youth on the streets all the time. I was like, man, you got ops? He's like, no, man, I don't got ops. If they stop shooting at me, I won't shoot at them. I'll go to the other side. I was like, you got ops? No, man, if they stop shooting at me, I won't shoot at them. But due to the wide variety of different things, you got the Mentacide, you got miseducation, you got the food, hip hop. And I was telling somebody got mad at me, I said hip hop is the new war on drugs. They teaching you to take pills. I got a good friend of mine. We kind of fell out for a little while, but he was taking Xanax and some other kind of pills. I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, he's telling me the chemical makeup, so he can tell me if cocaine is in the pill, he can tell me if methamphetamine is in the pill, he can tell me all these different chemical makeups. And then when he takes the pill, he nods like a dolphin. Like he'd be nodding. Like ain't no different than him shooting up. It's just physically he's taking it. And then he had a short-term memory loss. So he could have did something bogus to us, played us, and then we remember, like, man, I ain't do that. Or you know you fell asleep, right? And it make you like drowsy, like too. Like put you like in a self-induced coma. You take it, and then if you don't take it, you go through withdrawals. So if you can't find a pill and you used to taking pills or whatever drug it is, it don't matter what it is, you'll go through a fit. You'll lose your mind. Like, I need it. Like, in your mind, you need it. Psychologically, you need it. Not only that, not only on the street, but the children and youth are prepared to do pills on the street because they are placed in the pipeline for special education. So they're already doping them up off the same chemical, probably similar chemical makeup, but they get doped up inside the school on the academic block season. So when they're in 6th grade, they're like, man, I don't even want to go to school. I want to drop out, man. I gotta feed my family. I gotta eat. Not only that, when they get to the 10th grade, they get in so much trouble, they get suspended, or they in school all the time, they're never in class. Or I had a teacher one time tell somebody I went to school with that graduated with me, if you don't come back, I'll give you a D for the rest of the quarter. He was like, all right. He's like, I'll see y'all, bro. Y'all know where to find me at? Right here, in front of the school on the block. Like, it's like they being prepared and groomed for the school to prison pipeline is pretty much the first step to mass incarceration. So you already socialized to be going in and out of jail at a young age, in juvenile. Then, when you get to be an adult, you've been going to jail since you was like maybe 12, 13, 14 years old. And you get to 18, 17, you commit a crime, you rob somebody, you kill somebody. They said, oh man, we're going to give you, we got 10 years. You 17. Now, I know how you going to survive going in there. Like, And that ain't no different than on the streets. Like some kids be so far gone, by the time they in 5th grade, 8, 9, 10, they so scarred. And in Chicago was the story of a young man. Robert Young Sanford. He made Time magazine. He ended up killing one of his classmates or a girl in his neighborhood. He's a part of the Black Disciples in Roseland. He goes into hiding. It's a manhunt for him. He makes Time magazine, he makes some news. Kind of find out his gang, they thought he was going to tell the police, so they end up killing him. He's 11. They end up shooting him execution style and leaving him dead under the Bible at 11. So the streets don't care that you 11. In the movie, I talked about propaganda, so the movie ATL, T.I.'s in it and Evan Ross is in it. Evan Ross' character is his brother. T.I. parents died, they living with their uncle. T.I. was trying to invest in and provide, he saved all his money for college for his brother. His brother decided to get involved doing stuff on the streets. The character, the big boy character, is the head drug dealer. He's like, now you know if you get involved in this, you know this grown man business, right? So he's like, yeah, I know the grown man business. He ends up getting robbed on the street. He's avoiding them. And then he's like, man, I've been calling you. And he's like, yo. He's like, now didn't I tell you this was grown man business? And then he ends up taking off and gets to a situation. His brother comes in, they scuffle. He ends up getting shot, the young man in the film. But this happens all the time on the street level. Like, they're not telling you, if you go to the street, most street cats I know, they're trying to make it out the streets. And there's cats that, not knowing, we've been socialized, like you even in middle class, well-to-do family, get the socialization through the miseducation and hip hop, that the street life is what it is. Like they think that these rappers are still living the street life. And Future, he did an interview where he talked about, I don't do lean, or I don't do pills. So what does that mean you're teaching our children through the music? Why are you teaching them this? Well, due to them being puppets, and the CCA, I can't remember what it's called. CCA is the prison. So prisons on stocks with record labels. So they have to rap about this in the music. It's part of their contract. When they sign their contract, it says you have to rap about this, this, and this. Even if you're a conscious artist, you have to rap about this, this, and this. Even what's his name, while they first started off, he was doing poetry. And then when he got that deal, he changed up his content. So he was talking about objectifying women in some of his music. Or he was talking about his experience growing up in D.C. Or, you know, and most artists, they don't like to talk about this, but I was talking about it. I had a producer that I met. He was producing for Chief Keef and a lot of Chicago artists. He said that they told him that in order to become a well-known producer in hip-hop, he would have to go run up to another man. And they said, we got photos of Chief Keef doing it, we got photos of Lil Durk doing it, we got photos of other Chicago hip-hop artists having same sex with another black male.
It's a part of the actual initiation of becoming any type of celebrity, any type of real wealthy person.
Yeah.
3 levels that they
Right, it was a producer that worked with Master P. He did a video with No Limit. He said, if you get on, say you get basically courted by the record label. They throw this party for you. You sign your deal. You haven't signed your deal. They court you. They give you all the drugs. They bring you all the women. And then you wake up. You don't remember what happened. Then you wake up. Then you're like, yeah, man, pop the tape.
Yes, sir.
You was doing that. It's like, now you gonna sign. First, it's like, man, I don't even want to sign. You ain't gonna sign? You see this tape? we release that to the whole world. And then they most time they sign transgender or what have you.
They push the kill the middle and the dress.
Yeah, Brian was in the dress for, he was Flo Brian.
Oh, yeah.
He was Flo Brian, DeAndre Jordan, with the State Farm commercial. He's like, they stole all my rings. And Kevin Garnett was like, you ain't got no rings. He was the old man. And it was Damian Lillard was the baby.
I have a question. So, like, what about Kevin Durant? Because remember at one point they were talking about fuck Kevin Durant.
I don't know, I ain't seen nothing before Kevin Durant goes. Who else? Kevin Hart was in the dress. He said, he did an interview, he was like, oh, I never be in the dress. Then he came out on Saturday Night Live in the dress. Who else?
He kissed the
Well,
rock.
it's the
Oh, he did?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Last year, him and the Rock did in a movie, not the name of it, CIA or something like that.
Central Intelligence, so Kevin Hart and The Rock kissed each other. Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, hold up in the dresses, man. Giving European women.
And then, let's talk about political education is very important. So the most important thing, as far as political education goes, the education of the organizer. It's very important. It's a Chicago organizer. He's a European man, Saul Alinsky. He writes a book called Rules for Rap. It gives you the ins and outs of political organizing. He said, education of a organizer or of the organizer is the most important thing. If he has no political education or he's not properly educated, he'll go in the field and everything he does as an organizer will fail. So if he does a protest, that protest will fail. If he has no political education or understand how protests and rallies work, he'll set the group that he's leading up and everybody will get locked up or harm will be inflicted upon the group that he's with. Or he might give somebody the wrong information. And that's why political education, that's why Fred Hampton, he talks about in a video on YouTube, I think it was in The Murder of Fred Hampton, the documentary, he talks about the importance of political education. He said members of the Black Panther Party cannot become a member unless they did 4 to 6 weeks of political education. You cannot do that. And then anybody that comes work for me when I eventually have my own school, my after school program, you got to go through a political education process. And it's going to have to be more than likely 6 months to a year. Before I even bring you on, I'll pay you for your training. You can come observe, but I'm not going to let you in the classroom unless I know what you are psychologically. And I'm going to vet you too, to make sure you're on point. Because I studied COINTELPRO. If you study political education, you got to study COINTELPRO, counterintelligence program. Created by FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, who comes into the FBI in the early 1920s. I don't know what J stands for, but J. Edgar Hoover, FBI Director. COINTELPRO comes out of people thinking it goes to the civil rights movement of the Black Panther Party for the Black Power movement. This goes back all the way to Booker T. Washington at Tuskegee Institute. They call it the Tuskegee machine. Booker T has over 40 trades, institutions, industries you can learn about. Not only that, he does one of the most revolutionary moves. He brings master scientist George Washington Carver down to Tuskegee. Not only that, he's housing revolutionaries, black revolutionaries that are run from the Klan at Tuskegee. And then he gets them out of if the Klans come looking for them. They come to his house and they ask, Booker, you know so-and-so? The student might be posed and they might shade that for me, for example. Brother Marcus Klein gives me an opportunity to come here. I'm on the run from the government. I shave my face, I grow my hair, I lock my hair, I change my whole look. I pose as if I'm 28, but I'm posing as if I'm a senior in the Nkrumah International Academy. But I'm really in here teaching the class. Now organize. That's what he did. The vice president of Tuskegee, R.R. Moe, was a CIA operative. Not only that, Booker T. Washington and Marcus Garvey were coordinating with each other. A lot of people talk about Booker T. Washington but love Marcus Garvey. Well, we need to understand, Marcus Garvey built the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Community League out the way that Tuskegee was structured. African-centered school model. Marcus Garvey pretty much created that model for African-centered school. The UNI had their own school. Historically, that's where I say, studying the history, this is the model of where it comes from. With Pan-Africanism, self-reliance. Booker T said, the model of Tuskegee, he said, leave your underwear at home because you will make your own in Tuskegee. We are self-reliant. We make our own shoes. We have our own shoe factory. Not only that, we make our own clothes. We grow our own food. We lay our own bricks. And Europeans was coming to Booker T for their bricks. In New York, Philly, on the East Coast, they were coming to him to get bricks and getting products. Oh, and the Ford Foundation with the cars, if it wasn't for George Washington Carver, Henry Ford wouldn't have been able to make them cars. With the science that George Washington Carver was producing, it was a game changer. Not only that, a lot of people don't understand the discrepancy between Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. And I'm not too sure, I got a researcher that's working on some research. He said that Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois were good friends. They wrote like 2 or 3 books together. Booker T. Washington was W.E.B. Du Bois' intellectual father. He went down to Tuskegee campus. He studied under Booker T. And then when Du Bois came up with the idea of philosophy of times and chance and decided to focus more on political gains, and Booker T focused on economic gains, they had a choice. They had to cause division between them in order to cause discrepancy. Not only that, they call it discrepancy. This has been going on since slavery, with the destruction of pitting the house Negro versus the field Negro, as Malcolm said. So you got the brother in the field that this brother organized. Then you got the one that's the example I use all the time in the movie Life. There's a character, his name is Hoppin' Bob. And Hoppin' Bob said he'd come down hard, you been boss with him. So you got a Hoppin' Bob type of character that's in the field overseeing. He's a Negro on a plantation. So you got Ronnie. He's ran bunches. He ran away a couple times. Now they caught him. Ronnie gets with it. They gonna cut his foot off, and then this is the last time Ronnie promises, I'll never run away again. I'm not gonna run away again. I'm not gonna run away again. And then he act like he's so hurt. And in fact, at nighttime, he going in the barn organizing. But not only that, Ronnie don't know who he can trust. So-and-so come and he brings somebody else and be like, man, I don't really know him like that, man. I don't trust him, man. He can't come. Like, no, man, he good people, man. For real, he good people. So y'all come up with your plans. The day y'all leave, the overseer come and grab all y'all up. It's like, man, which one of y'all gonna tell me the plan? Oh, you ain't gonna tell me the plan, Ronnie, step forward. They chain Ronnie up, they whipping Ronnie in front of everybody. So you're not gonna tell me? All right, Ronnie, I'm done with you. Next. Joe, step up, Joe. Oh no, master. I was there. We was gonna run today. He done told on everybody. So now everybody has to be punished because this one person, this Negro, is like, wants to think they gonna get the same benefit. And not only that, Master whips the rest of them, but then he kills Joe to set the example. Well, he keeps Joe around, he kills Ronnie. Ronnie gets his head cut off, and they leave Ronnie's head around the plantation. They hand Ronnie's head. They put it on a stick. Like, this is an example for any Negro that wants to run, that wants to be a rebellious Negro. And then during lynchings, what they would do is, as a threat, they would cut off the genital areas of the man and put it in his mouth as a sign of, we're going to show you, we're going to cut you off. That's the way to destroy the nation. In order to destroy the nation, you destroy the children. You annihilate and wipe out the children. Only because those children will grow up and become that next class of radicals, that next class of revolutionaries. You have to destroy the children. If you don't destroy the children, in public school, if you got a child that has a consciousness about themselves, you destroy this child, you dumb them down, put them in special ed, you dope them up, and now they're learning what they learned. They was learning 90% of what they were supposed to be getting. Now they only learn 30%. And they've been dumbed down so much. Like when they go to the street, it's easy to fool them. They're like, man, no, we're not going to, most youth, you're supposed to contact their parent right away. Most of the time when they take youth in with the Central Park 5, we can use them as an example. They took them in. They deprived them of food, they deprived them of sleep, and they was like, oh yeah, we need you to sign this plea deal. Sign the plea deal, they didn't know it was for sexual assault. Or even with Conrad George Jackson got locked up. When he was 18, he was doing a petty crime. They locked him up. They tell him, man, sign this plea deal, man. It's only 30 days in jail. And then some community service afterwards. You don't know the law. You don't have no legal education. You have no political education. You signed it over without your lawyer being present. You signed it. You got life in prison. At 18. You don't understand. So George Jackson's in prison. He meets Huey P. Newton while he's in prison. When he's in prison, he wakes up to this consciousness. He writes a letter, a book called Solidarity Brother. He writes letters to his mother, his brother, and the letter he's talking about the things he's learned and that he wants to pass on. While he's in prison, he creates this. So in prison, the way he's breaking down, you had the white neo-Nazis, and you had the other gangs, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, he either started the Black Guerrilla Family or the Black Liberation Army. I can't recall. Off the top of my head, I wish I would have bought the book with me. But George Jackson, what happens is, so basically, black prisoners are pretty much getting killed or beaten in prison. George Jackson, at this point, is fed up. So they keep him in solitary confinement a lot, because he's organized. So a correctional officer gets thrown off the roof of the prison. They blame it on George because George is in the organizer, and 3 other brothers. Not only that, George, they get on trial for assaulting that brother. They pretty much could be put in the death chamber. They're charged. George Jackson's brother tried to make him escape from prison. They kidnapped the judge. Not only that, they killed the judge and his brother ends up getting killed. Not only that, it's a riot at the prison they had. It's like the day before their trial in Africa. Not only that, Angela Davis gets implicated in that. And they claim that, I can't remember if this was before or after George Jackson got killed. But George Jackson gets killed, they claim he had a gun in his afro. Right? So, not only that, George, they're on trial. George does anything else, it's over for him. So he's not fighting. So basically, black prisoners are getting killed by other corrections officers and other people. So he goes out and helps and fight. And he's a stocky dude. So he's fighting. Then they send the National Guard and they said George Jackson tries to escape. And they shoot him in the head as he's escaping. But what happened is they killed him inside the prison. They dragged his body outside and said he was trying to escape. But this is what happens. If you're somebody that's speaking up, we are prisoners of war. So somebody asked me, how do I feel living in America? Some African brothers and sisters. And they was asking me, how do I feel? I said, man, I'm a political prisoner in a corporation called America. It's a corporation. If you look at your social security number, and I think one of my good friends was telling me, if you look at the dollar, it has a monetary value on the dollar. So you as a person, you have monetary value. So if you pretty much, if they wanted to enslave us, they could. Me personally, I was telling somebody, we gotta understand what happened with Hurricane Katrina with FEMA. They killed a lot of African people during Hurricane Katrina. The ones that said they said we were rioting and tearing stuff up, but the white people were looting. Or there's a young man that was 16 that robbed a bank out in one of the suburbs. When he robbed it, they just said 16-year-old white male. Now, if Ray a man go stick up the bank, they show him their picture. Instantly, and their name. But the story and narrative is different in the media when it's European and it's African. There was an instance of is it Somalian? Or it was an African woman, I can't remember, I think she was Somalian. She was Ethiopian, but she was working for a European. And she was hanging from the windowsill. And she made her fall. She ended up living. But she could have died. But these are the type of things they do. They invite women of African descent to come over. More so like an indentured servant. You work for them. You get free rent, free board, you taking care of their children. Not only that, with adoption, they are doing organ harvesting. So if you have an ID, if you're an organ harvester, on the back of your ID, remove that off your ID. Because you make yourself a target. My mom taught me this before I got an ID. Make yourself a target. Because if you say you want to donate your organs, say for instance, you're not thinking nothing of it. You're not even paying attention on your ID. Say you go to a gas station. You come out, you pull up the gas station, a semi-truck hits you. You die. They take you to the coroner. They take your organs, whatever organs they want. the story of a young man, Kendrick Johnson, in Georgia. He got beat, he went in the gym for a workout, he never came out, he was rolled up in the mat. He looked like Emmett Till's face. He was puffy. His family do their own investigation, his body was filled with newspaper, all the organs gone. There's another young man in Louisiana somewhere, 14, gets killed, gets sodomized, his organs get gone. Found in the water. Come to find out, a Klansman's son, not a Klansman, a CIA agent, an FBI agent's son, who was a Klansman in Louisiana, killed him and did this to the 14-year-old young man. With some other instances. In North Carolina, Lyndon Lacey, 17-year-old, found lynched, hung on a swing set because he had a sexual relationship with the 32-year-old European white woman. And we gotta talk about that. Interracial relationships. If you are in a bed with somebody that's European and you African, you pretty much giving away our secrets. You pillow talking. On the streets, that's what they call it. You pillow talking. You sharing our secrets. Not only that, when something does happen to somebody that has decided to become an integrationist, the people's like, you want to feel sympathy. Me personally, I don't feel sympathy. If you keep going and lying and getting in the bed with the enemy, not just in bed, physically having sex, but you're choosing to go work on a job, work that job, stack your bread, do what you gotta do, get out, provide for yours. I'm not telling you not to do that. But what I'm saying is, don't think that you have a friend, Dr. John Henry Clark said, they work the same job, make the same amount of money, black man builds his house from the ground up, white man drops him off, co-worker drops him off to his house, and if you notice one thing, whenever you so-called got a white friend, if you ask them to go into their house, they never let you go in their home. They be like, meet me at the coffee shop, meet me at Starbucks, meet me at Dunkin' Donuts. They're not gonna let you go into, they ain't gonna take you out to dinner and pay for dinner. But they're not gonna allow you into their house because they understand warfare. They understand war. We as black people, we always want to invite white people in and Europeans into our communities, into our schools, into our home. White man goes, he sees the house is a nice house, there's 2 cars in the driveway, it's art on the wall. Oh, John, you have some nice stuff, yeah. Then he goes to work the next day. John pulls up to work, he got a box sitting on his desk with paint slip in it.
Even better yet, I'm going through it right now. I'm out here in the Midwest, and I got the next door neighbor attacking the house out here in Connecticut, left to right, man, dropping all sorts of anonymous letters to the mayor, the governor, trying to really, stagnate our livelihood. That's out here while we out here, man. And it's like the state can't help us because it's anonymous. Lawyers can't help, but it's like, dude, but every time we drop a letter, y'all come to our house, they put us under siege and shit over the letter. But at the end of the day, it's nothing we can do, man. It's going on right now as we speak, y'all. And it's just, it's just real, man. That really touched me right there, man. I'm definitely dealing with that right now. Homeboy hating on the fact that he can't get no rent in his home, can't keep no rent in his home, and we ain't even living there no more. And I jumped his deck out. He called on us all the time, man. You gotta jump with.
That's how it be, man. Hey,
I actually called Dr. Umar Johnson really, man. I ain't even gonna lie, man. That's how stressed out, the situation is right now.
I'm gonna do a brief reading. So this, I'm gonna read part of the introduction. Black Studies in a Problematic Paradigm of Philosophical Dimension by Dr. Malala Karanga in the Journal of Black Studies, Volume 18, Number 4. Discusses the philosophical perspective that how Black Studies is used as an academic discipline by Black intellectuals as a mechanism for intellectual and political liberation. Black Studies is defined as a discipline that teaches self-determination and knowledge of self to people of African descent. The purpose of Black studies is to counter the narrative of European hegemonic scholarship created by the social sciences, anthropology, economics, history, political science, psychology, and sociology. The discipline has impacted negatively because Europeans are able to integrate Black studies into other disciplinary fields, such as gender studies, women's studies, queer studies, Marxism, socialism, and Black liberation theology. Philosophically, the discipline should only focus on Afrocentric education because it is culturally centered in self-development of Black people or African people economically, politically, and socially. Educators should apply this approach when teaching Black children and youth because it culturally socializes them through an African-centered framework. The African-centered framework has been initiated through the social scientific research and thought of Afrocentric scholarship. Thinkers like John Henry Clark, Dr. Jacob H. Carruthers, Marcus Klein, Dr. Asha G. Higley, Dr. Bobby Wright, Dr. Marima Ali, and many other intellectual voices have created Warrior Scholarship that empowers the Afrikan World Community institutions that empower the next generation of youth. This framework counters the narrative of systematic miseducation, cultural genocide, derails the school to prison pipeline. Schools have integrated the minds of African children culturally, economically, historically, politically, and socially through Eurocentric propaganda taught in public school curriculum. African-centered schooling will alleviate the major problem that many Black educators are facing, which is unemployment. Black independent educational institutions can reawaken African children by implementing the curriculum that incorporates history, science, mathematics, language, arts, agriculture, political science through an African-centered lens. And that's it. I just did 2 paragraphs. But that's a snippet. While talking about African-centered schooling, doesn't necessarily have to be inside an actual physical school. It could be in the community, it could be in the community center, it could be in the youth program, it could be on the college campus. It could be in a wide variety of places, but making sure you're doing it. Even if you don't have your child in school, if you're a parent at the dinner table, at breakfast, when you drop them off from school, when they're on their way home from school, talk to them. See how their day go. I see so many parents, the first thing they ask them, and a lot of youth organs and youth development organizations, staff, the first thing they ask them, like, what you have for homework? First thing first, you have to build a relationship with them and ask them, how was your day? How is it going? When I was doing a city year, one of the first things I would ask my students, how you doing this morning? How was your morning this morning? Was it thumbs up? I had something like the thumbs up thing, or was it a high, or was it a low? Or I had to give me a high and a low. What was good about it and what was bad about it. Sometimes it'll be all highs, and sometimes it'll be high low, and sometimes it'll just be low. Like they got so much going on at home that they can't really focus all their efforts to what's going on and what they're learning inside of school. Most children that come to school, some of them be hungry. So what you gonna do when you get hungry? You gonna try to ease them hunger pains. Sometimes easing them hunger pains, you might gotta go out and do something illegal and destructive to feed yourself. You might not have no means to eat, but you might go in and rob somebody for some money just to eat. Or I've seen it before where people I know have situations where somebody has bought them food and then they end up robbing the person that bought them food. Give me everything you got, everything. Or if it's, I know teachers and educators and administrators that have gotten robbed because they mistreat students that formerly went to school. They even got expelled and dropped out. Shorty ain't even going to school no more. He run the street. As soon as you get off work, he waiting for you outside. What's up, Mr. Williams? You remember that? Yeah, man. Empty all your pockets. Got the ski mask on. And man, give me them car keys. I need all that. Give me your phone, give me your debit cards, give me all that. I need all that. I know I got homies that would do that. That was their come up, robbing people. That was the thing that they did.
Quick money.
Not only that, like people trying to eat and survive, so I could never tell. I got respect for street brothers because any time I had an issue in high school, I never got touched. Because I had brothers looking out for me. Well, if I did get touched, I had a good friend of mine, rest in peace to my brother, Ishmael. When we was in 8th grade, he told me he needed me to keep my distance from him as a means of my protection. So we would communicate, we talk to each other in the hallway from time to time. But in high school in Chicago, I was a freshman in 2003, we had this thing called freshman hell. So they would put you in lockers, put you in the garbage can, roll you down the stairs, throw pennies at you. If you had a roller book bag, they would kick your book bag. Or if you had a roller book bag and you was carrying, sometimes they would take a pocket knife and cut all your books and stuff out your book bag. So I get stole off for about dude. I'm leaving school. So the dude was trying to bully me the whole time. I've been avoiding him for days. So I would cut out the back door every time because I know he's in the front waiting to heck with people. So he catch me in the cafeteria one day. He's like, man, he's still on me. My homie, basically, my man that was with me, he ran and left me. I turned around, the dude was still on me. I turned my head and he was like on the back of my head. And I turned around, he got like 30 dudes with me. I had my fist clenched. He was like, you might not want to do that. So I leave him alone, I don't tell nobody. Then my homie, he comes to me, he's like, man, why the hell you didn't tell me? Somebody stole off. He's like, man, I handled it already. And they kind of find out. The day that it happened, a couple days later, dude came and apologized to me. And I didn't know why. The dude was a junior and my homie was a freshman. But he had rank and they had respect. But the way that he did things on the streets, he did it respectfully. So if it was a beef between other sets, he was that OG that would go in. Even though he would be the youngest, and it'd be cats in their 30s, he'd be like 18, 19, 20, in there at the table with OGs. But he had that. Even now, we can use the example with the show The Wire, Proposition Joe. On The Wire, when there was a beef in Baltimore on that show, Proposition Joe would bring everybody to the table. And then we need somebody like that within the community now that can come, bring the people together, and sit down. Even with the whole conscious community, we could need to have, if it is to eventually come to what it should be, there needs to be some people that need to do interventions. So somebody that's good on both sides with both parties that disagree with each other. Even now, we need more like a ceasefire for intellectual warfare, for intellectual gangsters, people that can go in. And it's ironically, a lot of people always call me, like I'm the person people always want to call. It's like, man, I need you to do an intervention. I'm like, man, I don't got the time right now to actually sit down. But we can sit down on three-way, or we can do a Google Hangout on both parties. And we can sit down, iron this thing out. We don't need to be beefing. You got your specialty. Everybody can come with that information. You come with you a Moor, come with that Moor information. You an Israelite, come with that Israelite information. You a black nationalist, come with your black nationalist. You know, you a Pan-Africanist, come with your Pan-Africanist. Me personally, the academic arts block giving you solutions you can implement directly in your household right away. And pretty much, we got to come to being able to agree to disagree. We can't keep arguing and bickering when we're at war with other people. They looking like, let them niggas argue. We gonna sit back. Or the police just sit back. They'll be in the hood. It's like, we gonna let these niggas kill each other. once one killed one, we just gonna go lock the other one up. We're gonna go lock them up. It's easy. Let them fight. Let them fight. Boys, pull the paddy wagons around. We're gonna fill these paddy wagons up. You know? And I want to go back to that Brown decision. Brown decision, to me, says so much as to how they destroy and annihilate the next generation. You know?
I got a question
Go ahead.
with the coincidental program. So when we eventually do organize, how do we counter the counterintelligence program?
It's going to be a challenge, but you're going to probably almost have to be. It's a movie. It's a book and movie by Sam Greenlee. Spook that said about doing. We actually have to do that. A lot of people say, "Oh, you're not revolutionary if you work for a European company or corporation." But if you in there really, you just organizing, like really low key, and keep it to yourself. You in there. You're not even telling the white people your thought process, but you listening. When I was in college, I was the spook that sat by the door. I would hang with white people. I would listen to it. I watched how they treated each other. And most with Europeans, what they did first, they colonized themselves first. So they colonized the agriculture game and the farming. They colonized that. It's like, oh, this out there now. It's our farm. Matter of fact, we got factories, so you can either come work for us or, you're going to suffer the consequences. This your land, I know you got all the oil, but it's our oil now. If you don't want to respect that it's our oil now, just lay that gun on the table. Now, I ask you nicely, not only that, matter of fact, you want to do it, grab him up. Matter of fact, you see his wife? She works for us now. That's our lady. Matter of fact, that's my wife now. These my children. That's like the whole thing with a lot of people say, oh, Willie Lynch syndrome ain't a real thing. He might not have been a real person. But if you look at it, Willie Lynch, the way he wrote it, he was a consultant that went in and studied the way that plantations were ran. How do you make and break a slave? Psychologically, you can break a slave. You don't even have to physically whip them. Psychologically, you get them psychologically. Miseducate them through the schools. Spiritually, you give them a white archetype image of Jesus. In most black churches, the archetypal image, if you go into school 5 days a week, I was a Pledge of Allegiance baby. 5 days a week, I pledge of allegiance to the flag, blah, 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 blah. 5 days of the week. Then you go into church, your family deeply involved with the church, you got a white image of Jesus in the church. You praying to God, you submitting yourself, whether it's a religion or not. So you got this image where white people are superior. Not only that, you got sports. So 6 days out of the week, you're going to church. That leaves Saturday for sports if you do sports. Not only that, 5 days a week you're going to school. Not only that, you playing sports. So not only that, you think, oh, I want to be an athlete. I want to be the next Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry. Or I want to be the next Barry Sanders. Or Barry Sanders got out the game before. He got his money and was out. But there's a lot of, we teaching our students to be athletes, and we're not teaching them to own. We're not teaching them to own. My students always talk to them about ownership and being entrepreneurs. I got students, they make rubber band bracelets and they sell it. I got another student that he likes smoothies. He wanna start his own smoothie company. Well, he makes smoothies and sells smoothies. I got another student that wanna make vegan pastries. So one thing we need to start doing, we need to start teaching our students to write our business proposals. I hit on this earlier. Well, I want my students that come to my education program in 3rd grade to write up an entrepreneurial plan. By the time they're in 5th grade, through middle school, they learn the trade of their choice. Whether they want to become a barber, they want to learn how to do coding, they want to learn how to do construction, they want to learn how to do welding, they want to learn how to do carpentry, whatever it is they want to do. And then my teacher, Marcus Klein, he has an expo with Freedom Home Academy every year. My expo version will be them showing off the products that they made throughout the year. And they can sell it. Not only that, if I got a student that wants to be a graphic artist, I have a friend that's a graphic artist, I will guide them to him. He teaches them how to be a graphic artist, he teaches them photography, he teaches them videography. Not only that, my student that has the skill, technical skills to do videography, they can do the event. Not only that, the student that does the graphic design can design a flyer for the event. Not only that, they can design a logo for their peers. So it's teaching them to recycle the dollar. Not only that, if I got a student that's interested in travel, I got a student that loves to travel. He has his own passport. He said, I want to travel, I want to be a pilot. And then I told him, what about your own travel agency? And he didn't know what a travel agency is. So I started schooling him to what a travel agency is. So now he's interested. Not only that, he wants to have his own planes, but he also wants to train his own pilots. But not only that, he wants to have his own travel agency. So he wants to corner the market for traveling. So this is the thing we must teach our students, to corner the market that they're interested in. I was telling somebody that Europeans always corner the market. I was like, the colonel for KFC, you could tell he was a racist European that practiced eugenics. What European you know how to make fried chicken? Where would they learn it from? They got a recent commercial of the new person that plays the colonel in the field, and it shows slaves. It's like a reenactment of it. It's a reenactment. And if you look at commercials, it's propaganda that has racial epithets in commercial. Subliminally. It was a Honey Nut Cheerio commercial where the white was it was black.
White was black.
And it was white, yeah. And then another commercial for Tropicana. The white woman and a black personal trainer. Basically, he lost the bet and he had to do push-ups. At the end of the commercial, he's sitting on his back drinking orange juice.
That's what eugenics as well. The whole process of just seeing us opposite of our own families and keep giving us other nations to stand with.
And interracial marriage, it was a case in 1967, the Supreme Court, Loving versus Virginia. A man and a woman, white man, European man, and Americanized African woman, they get married in D.C. They go back to Virginia, they bust in on them, they arrest the husband. This goes to the Supreme Court. This legalized interracial marriage. So now it's normalized. So in society, it's even normalized for, you're going to either see the LGBT thing with Black Lives Matter. It's normalized. Not only that, interracial marriage is normalized. So, whatever, as far as colonization goes, if the colonizers come in, the language and the culture will change every single time. the language and culture will change. So whatever that language is spoken, whoever that colonized, so French, when the French was colonizing Haiti, that's what happened. When Napoleon went in, and this is where the Napoleon complex comes in. Somebody that's short tries to exert their power through force. So you bigger than me, I'm gonna bring you down to my level. I'm gonna force you to do what I want you to do. So people that's angry and have a Napoleon complex that want to fight all the time, this is what Napoleon would do. He would exert force. When most of the time, the two systems that was colonized would be the spiritual and education. Education system. These are colonized. Without that, we need a military to enforce it. Not only do you need a military, we need the police. So the military enforces religious, spiritual, and police enforce the education system. Because in most schools, on the way here, if you roll down Stony Island, if you ride during the school year, you will notice there's a heavy police presence in front of Hyde Park High School. You see police in schools. Then you will not find a school military-industrial complex. Military comes in with force. Most leaders have this philosophy, European leaders. So you come in, you bargain. You're like, yeah, man, we in. People invite you to town. Oh, come in, man. Land is for yours, the Native American and indigenous people. Come on, the buffalo is yours for taking. Destroy all the buffalo. Extinct, endangered species. There might be maybe a few buffalo left in the world. But they come in, they take the buffalo, they take the land, they bring their diseases and illnesses. And then not only that, if you don't do what they want you to do, if we're looking at terms of warfare, the president goes over to the country and be like, yo, yeah, you know, we got this oil. Matter of fact, we're going to give you these weapons, right? Give us a discount on the oil. That's all. Give us. So we want it for $2 million, $2.5 million. Like, nah, man, I ain't going no lower than $10 million. They're like, come on, man, I just gave you guns. Come on, brother. Work with me, meet me halfway. No, I'm cool. All right, matter of fact, y'all keep the weapons. President come back to a press conference. We was just over in Iran, Iraq, or Libya, or Afghanistan, whatever country it is. They have weapons of mass destruction. They're not telling the public they gave their weapons. But their intent is to really go get oil. And they're going to send the military to enforce it. So we could look at one of the coldest wars where the United States got whooped on was the Vietnam War. They went over to Vietnam. The Vietnamese, they had them underground tunnels. They trained the kids. They had landmines. Man, they was pulling them soldiers in them underground tunnels, tearing them up, stabbing them up, doing all type of stuff to them, destroying them. But they're not going to put that out there that the Viet Cong was getting off in their chest. And then this is, after that, you got the war on poverty or the war on drugs that come. I can't remember when Vietnam was. But when the war on drugs came, this is when you will see Nancy Reagan on the street with the Say No to Drugs campaign. Nancy Reagan, the first lady, is on the streets in Compton, in different cities across the United States. They come through with the tank, with the barricade. So they finna knock the whole wall of the house out. So if you're in the way of that wall, you're gonna get smashed. And you've seen it, and if you've seen the film Straight Outta Compton, they showed them when Eazy-E was in the house at the beginning. They came through a wall with it, and Eazy got up out of there. He got about to die. He hopped out the window, hopped on the roof, and he was gone. But it happens all the time. If they want to come get you, they gonna come get you. They will. And police is militarized during protests. Ferguson is the example. They did it with Ferguson, and they did it in Baltimore with Freddie Gray. Then when Kwame McDonald came, they didn't do it as harsh as what's gonna come. It's gonna be another big case in Chicago, I guarantee you. It's gonna be somebody that's either been dead, got killed on camera, or somebody that's gonna get killed publicly. And they are ready this time. So if you wanna protest, all right, we got something for you. Come on out to the streets. We got something for you. Ain't gonna be nice. They gonna physically, not only physically assault you, but they gonna push you in the cuffs. And my whole thing is, I never got the whole dying thing as a political strategy. If you're dying in and you land on the ground, if the police want to come in and grab a whole bunch of people up, and y'all all dying in, you don't got no perimeter protecting you. Everybody down there, all they gotta do is whoop, paddy wagon, whoop, just pull people, throw them in there, boom, boom, boom. Fill the paddy wagons up. And they got more than paddy wagons. Not only that, if you got the paddy wagons, you got police on bikes. If they barricade you with the bikes, they use their bikes as weapons. So if they surround you with your bikes and barricade you in, they can just go to work and let other police officers just come in and grab them with the riot gear. And I don't know if you've seen riot gear firsthand. It ain't nothing nice with them shields. And not only that, you know how they got the batons? They put an old school baton that look like the baseball bat. And they be having the horses too. Because I was on the street when, after the verdict came out. It could have been an instance of what happened in Selma when they was on that bridge. They set these cities up. And the reason why they have highways in major cities, just so you know if you don't know, so the military can come in. You shut the highway down, the tanks can roll in. Where they gonna go? Where's the easy access for most getting off the highway in the inner city? Concentration camp. The hood is a concentration camp. You could bar off the hood, with gated up, barbed wire it. Not only that, all these closed down schools. You could get a FEMA camp easily. And also, Walmart has a relationship with FEMA, so when the FEMA camps eventually start coming up, if you go in Walmart, they make it seem like you got certain points, and then when you walk in a certain point, it'll cut you off and lock you in, and you ain't getting out. See, I couldn't go to a FEMA camp. They would probably make an example out of me. I'm gonna be organized, but I'm not gonna keep my mouth shut. You're gonna have to do some damage to me. But I'm not going. One of my friends, one of my relatives, is like, so what happens if they try to take me to a FEMA camp? I said they gonna kill me. I'm not going to no FEMA camp, fam.
I ain't doing New World Order twice. I told me that the first New World Order, we lost our minds and going that route.
You're going to have to stretch me out. I told somebody I'd rather die as an unknown revolutionary than a well-known slave.
Yeah, right. That's your brother. Oh, God.
I'm not submitting to nobody.
No.
No man. Like, if you gonna do what you gonna do what you gonna do. I've been in a situation where I've been robbed before. I've been in a situation with police where I've told police officers like they was gonna lock me up. I was like, all right, do me this. Take your badge off, put your taser down, put your gun down, take that vest off, duke it up with me. If you kick my ass, I'll let you take me to jail. And then they usually like, they'll back up. Do what you gonna do. Like, if you gonna do something, do it. But I'm not gonna let you take me to jail. You gonna have the time of your life with me. You met your, I am, like what Johnny Baldwin said, I am not your Negro. You met the white Negro. Because I'm gonna fight. Like, I'm not gonna stand there and take you putting your hands on me. And for instance, like, the thing that really bothers me, our people have become so docile to me, they will see the police assaulting another black person and sit there and watch. For example, Alton Sterling. When they had Alton Sterling on the ground, they was recording that. If I seen that Alton Sterling tassel with them cats, I would have probably went up and helped them. Like, that's just me. I'm gonna go help. If I see youth all the time, the police be ready to lock them up. They pull the paddy wagon up. One time I seen an instance where they was getting ready to fight. I ran over and stopped the fight. Somebody was like, you know how dangerous that is? If they respect me and rock with me, they looked at me crazy because I ran over them. They're like, who is this dude? Why is he running over here? But they stopped and listened. I was like, man, you see the police over there? They waiting for y'all to fight. They gonna lock y'all up. I was like, and he was a young man. I was like, you want to go to jail? When you can't see your mother, you can't see your family? I was like, man, I know you like girls. And I didn't even do it for LA. I was like, you like boys, don't you? You're not gonna be able to be around boys. If you want to spend the rest of your life and get locked up, that's what they're gonna do. It's gonna be a repeating cycle. So, you get locked up at 14, you ain't in and out of jail. At 18, they can send you to a dope prison, say you get locked up for a crime. And they give you time, they give you 10, they give you 4 years in juvenile. They was like, nah, matter of fact, we gonna repeal your sentencing. You 18 now, you 17 now, we gonna send you to the big house. Matter of fact, at the time of the crime, you was 18, but you remember all the fights you got into while you was in here? And you shanked so-and-so? We said, we sending you with the big boys. We sending you to the big house. Now you gotta go in there with the murderers, the killers, and don't get it twisted. Juvenile is no different than the prison. Like juvenile, you can get raped in juvie. You can have to fight for your food. You gotta fight for your common sense. Somebody on the school, they stole this, one of my homies, he got a bite from one of our bros. Come to find out, he stole it from a little girl. The peers come over to the high school, they was like, man, who gave you that bite? He's like, man, I didn't steal that bite. He's like, what's his name? Got it. I just got the bite. Oh, I was like, you got it from him. He's like, come on, Officer Jones, man, I'm not going to juvie this time, bro. It's like, it's over with, I'm not going to juvie. He's still off him. Then he get the police officer get the slamming him, body slamming him, dropping his elbow on his back. And then he's like, man, I'm taking you to the auto home. He's like, that's what I thought. I told you I wasn't going to juvie. And he had him in the handcuffs, like his nose was like bleeding. And it was like snotty. He had water in his eyes. He's like, I told you I wasn't going to juvie. You weren't going to take me to juvie. And most youth would rather go to the auto home because you got more free range in the auto home. And the auto home is more like a halfway house. But you still gotta listen and do. But it's this thing called carceral. It's like, it's called carceral. I can't remember if I'm spelled carceral. So it's this thing called carceral state. So to be in a jail-like state. It's a sociology term. So when our ancestors was on the boats, they was in the carceral state that's coming over. In the community, we're in the carceral police state. So at any given time, if the police want to kick your front door in without a warrant, they will do that. And they will come and get you. And they got this new technology on Facebook. One of my researchers was doing a survey. He said they got this new technology. If you do activist work online and you're going live, they're going to start getting warrants to arrest activists and people that are active on social media. They're going to start coming to get you at your front door. So you woofing and you are armchair revolutionary, you banging on your computer, they will come in and kick your door in. And you think you bad till they come knocking on your door. Like, I don't know if people know what it feels like. Well, I've been surveilled by CPD. I live in Hyde Park in Chicago. Sometimes I would come out my house and police are sitting on my block. And they'll follow me to the bus stop. Well, they shut down my social media. Well, every time I drive a car, as of lately it hasn't been happening, but I get pulled over and held for an hour, getting harassed. So I don't do as much street work as I once did, because that limits me from being harassed. But when I go to the street, a lot of people know me as dressing in dashiki. I wear a suit sometimes, I'm dressed down in that. But I go to the street with a snapback on, some sunglasses sometimes, throw my hoodie on, my coat, I throw my raincoat, a rain jacket depending on the weather, a poncho, but you can't decipher who I am. Sometimes I got a beard, I cut my beard down and take some of the length off of it, and I go to the street. Because I ran into something where I was breaking up a fight between two activist groups that was pro-black. I knew people on both sides. But one of my mans, he grabbed me. He's like, bro. He's like, I didn't know that feels, man. Keep it on the hush, brother. I don't want them to know I'm out here. Because they will grab me up. Because there's been times at protests where I got caught in the back trying to help somebody else. And some of my bros, they come back, they was like, bro, you good? I thought you got locked up. I appreciate y'all coming to look at me. But the cultural state is the police and the community. The police can pull you over and stop and frisk you. So it's a book, Solid. This is one of the books that woke me up. Dr. Asha G. Hill. Solid, Reawakening of the African Mind. Foreword written by Dr. Wade Nobles. In the foreword, Dr. Wade Nobles talks about education as culture. Culture is education. Culture is a way of life. Everything you should be, your culture should be within you. We have some African people that have been desensitized and socialized through European cultural socialization. So they've been trained so much to believe and think that they're European. Psychologically, they're European. They think they're white. There's a lot of Europeans that talk black, think green, and live white. Especially in the so-called conscious community. They're about that dollar. They do their lectures. This is why I do free lectures. I don't like charging for my lectures. They do lectures, they charge $20 to $30 for the lecture. They get their bread, boom. Hey man, peace, thank y'all, appreciate y'all. I'll see ya. Next time I'll see y'all in 3 months. See y'all later. That ain't no different than the pastor. That ain't no different than Pastor Jelly or the driver Bentley. You know? And this how you catch somebody that's getting ready to scam you. I don't usually say peace family, but most of the time they say peace family. They use this, they call them hoteps. But if you know what hotep means, peace. But hotep has been demonized as something that it originally wasn't supposed to be. Hotep is a greed. Hotep brother, hotep sister, it's a greed. So when you greet somebody, they be like, what's up, bro? Like you greet somebody with a dap, they be like, hotep, my brother. And they do that. You know what I'm saying? They be like, it's all about peace, love, and prosperity when it comes to that. You're supposed to be at peace. But there's a lot of people that's claiming hotep, but they aren't being peaceful amongst others in the community. They're causing and wreaking havoc in the community. They're causing drama in the community. A lot of these cats be intellectually game-banging and intellectually theorizing their activism. Then you ask them to come do work in the field, and I tell people all the time, man, you can't really get no, you can't have me come do a community event with you unless you come see what I'm about and come build with me. Otherwise, I'm not gonna build with you. I don't have no reason to talk to you. If you're not about this work, if you're not about our children and our youth, I don't really do no more political work. So if you ain't about teaching these babies not no solutions, then I don't really want to hear nothing you got to say. You can invite me out to your event all you want. If you ain't really supporting nothing I did, then it is what it is. I'm not asking for no money. Like, I want you to come out and get this information, go share this information. We gotta wake our people up, because we sleep. We in a sleeping state. We in I call it a zombie apocalypse. Negroes are in the zombie mind state. The first zombie that bit them was the European, and now they're European. You will not mess with my master. Well, we can use the example of a movie called Bamboozle. Basically, it's a modern day minstrel show. So what Bamboozle portrayed during that time, with the red face and black paint, a man tan and sleeping in it, is what reality TV shows are today. This was 99 or early 2000s. Bamboozle portrays what a modern day minstrel show is. If you look at reality TV, it's a modern day minstrel show. It's a show. It's actually scripted TV. I call it reality sitcom TV. A lot of people get spin-off shows of how well they behave and act. A lot of people get other careers. There's been a lot of rappers that come from reality TV and never rap, or they come from entertainment. We can even look at Drake as the example. He was on Degrassi. A lot of people ask me, do I listen to Drake? I was like, yeah, I listen to Drake, I listen to wide variety of music. But I can't take Drake serious, because the image I remember of R.B. Graham is him being Jimmy in a wheelchair. So I can't take him when he rapping about being a gangster and doing gangster things. It baffles me. That's like whatever's baffled me in Chirac, Nick Cannon being a gangster rapper in the film. I couldn't really take him serious. I would rather it been somebody else. They could pick anybody out of all actors. I would have rather seen Wood Harris play. And he's from Chicago. You know, pick somebody that's from Chicago, you know, to portray something of that nature, of that magnitude. I understand what Spike was trying to do. I really do. But he wouldn't have done New York like that. He wouldn't have done Harlem or Brooklyn like that, because he know good and damn well them cats would have ran him right out of New York. They would have ran him out. I said, what we should have did when he came in and had Cusack portraying Father Flavor, and then he bring Nick Cannon and other people in, we should have ran him out of town. He should not have been able to film. Spike Lee should have been able to get ran out of town. Why couldn't John Singleton, you know, have done it? Why couldn't another director done it? If you don't know nothing about Chicago, you don't have a right to really speak on Chicago. You know? So we got to start vetting people that's coming through our areas. When it should be when the European come through our communities or countries, as soon as they come to the country, we step to them like, yo, man, what you doing here, man? You can't come. Or as soon as they come, we just start busting at them. As soon as they start walking up, shoot first, ask questions later. What are you doing here? You shoot first, ask questions later. But you know, on the streets, the young brothers, Dr. Amos Wilson said this. He was like, the black criminal wants everything the European wants. He wants the car, he wants the mansion, he wants the money, he'll sell drugs to a child and a pregnant woman, he'll kill his own brother, but won't turn around and shoot the white man. Because he wants the same thing he wants. He's socialized by him, by the overseer and the master. He feels like he's indebted to protect the system of oppression and aggression that he's exhibiting. So when I'm looking at so-called black on black or inter-community violence as this paradigm, it's European on black violence. It's what Dr. Byron Wright calls the black suicide. What the black suicide is, we're trained to think we're European, so we have no problem killing our own brothers. Well, killing our own sisters. But when it comes to the white man, if there's an instance where a brother is defending himself against a white man, the other Negroes will tell, don't do that, don't hit him. He's not doing nothing to nobody. He's good in the community. He's a teacher in the community. I don't care if he's a teacher. I don't care if he's a janitor. I don't care if he is a business owner. They don't care about us. They aren't our friends. They take their money from our community and they go right back into the Gold Coast. What's the Mount? Where a lot of racist Europeans live in Illinois. Mount Prospect, yes. If you go to the Mount Prospect, they lynch you. They tell you that. But again, I'm going to end on this note, so I'm going to go through the academic auction block one last time. We got the principal, that's the warden. We got the teachers, that are the correction officers. You got the cell block, that's the classroom. You got the police and security, that's SWAT. You got the cafeteria. That's the mess hall, in-school suspension and solitary confinement. Playground is the yard. Then students is the judge and special education. And the special education is the auction block. So, it's another book that's very vital to my development. Too much schooling, too little education. It's edited by M. Wallamu J. Shua, and I'll represent it. Too little education. In this book, it breaks down African-centered education. Hakeem Matabuhi, in his book, his essays in here, I always use the analogy of a tree and a plant. So I told my students, what happens if you grow and nurture a plant or a plant? or flower. What does it need? It needs sunlight, boom. It needs food, it needs water. Without food, water, and sunlight, it can't grow. What happens for us? What do we need as African people? For our melanin? Sun. We need water to live, and we need food. Basic survival instinct. What happens if it isn't nurtured? It isn't taken care of, it isn't water, it die. So I'll ask my students, what is the Mentacide of Miseducation? They said the European is not, or the person is not taking care of the plant. And what will the African be? The one that nurtures it, gives it that sunlight, gives it that water, gives it that food for thought, and grow it and nurture it. And on that note, I want to thank y'all for coming out. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming out.
Sounds like you're a standing ovation.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions, but I have a statement or two to kind of piggyback on what you were saying. First of all, I just want to say I would absolutely love that you use a lot of pop culture references to kids. It's most adults because all of us are representing sleep. And I think that it's very important to put things in context, put things in perspective for us, for them to A, really resonate with us, A, and then B, put us in positions where they use things that benefit, right? So I just want to say I commend you on that. Great job on that. Some of the things that I want to mention is, I watched another lecture earlier, probably less than about 2 weeks ago, and it's called Economic. I'm not sure if the lecture was slavery, and it's essentially talking about the change in the European culture and the African culture from most of the contact pre-slavery, if you will. And also put into perspective, it gave me some direct quotes and direct examples and great references on exact moments when they colonized agriculture, if you will, right? And then you use the model for doing that to pretty much set the standard for every other capitalistic industry, as well as the educational school systems that were developing around the time. So I thought that was phenomenal, and I don't think that by any means coincidence that I came across that lecture before coming here. Another thing that you spoke on that I thought was very significant, and I want to reiterate, is that Europeans are not birds. They are not. They are socialized to match themselves as our friends, but they are not. Another great pop culture reference that I want to be more into is Get Out, the movie Get Out. I feel like that movie should be used as a documentary, if you will, because it was so many underlying values that we can walk away with as a culture. And what's interesting about me coming to terms with this lecture and then coming to terms with this movie is that I have a friend, I'm so sorry, that I'm really close to during times when my sister was finishing her undergrad at UIC, and she's European. They are really, really close. My sister likes it fills all of her friends with me because I'm a no-nonsense kind of person. I was really judging people's characters and intentions, and so she really wanted to filter out this new friend that was so anxious to be so for the people. So over time, back then when they were in school, they went to every program together. They were very, pretty much social outside of their schooling and their work environments. On a personal level, they were very social when they were fighting for economic rights for everybody, right? It wasn't even the fact that this person was just so pro-black, it was just it was more about equal rights for everyone. Right? Over the course of time, school rights graduated, now we hit real life. And things like the Black Lives Matter movement happens, you have movies like Get Out come out. I don't hear from these people. We've grown really, this associate, we've grown really close over the course of the past few years in school, finished up undergrad, but with a election, post-undergrad, the last 3 or 4 years, I barely hear from you, and then when I do hear from you, it's about something along the lines of something, if you're getting now, you get from me, and I wouldn't. So it's interesting that this person recently reached out to me and wanted to reconnect. And what I started to pay attention to prior to coming across this lecture is that every time this person came around, she was looking to gain something from me. Like whether it was spiritually, whether it was intellectually, whether it was entrepreneurially, she was always looking to gain. And at first I thought I should be flattered by her until I saw this lecture. Right? And now she's hitting me all this last week, trying to get around, trying to hang out, trying to link up. And I couldn't figure out why the university would allow it to happen until now. So I came to this lecture, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. I had to get prepared first.